All right, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Were you guys able to hear music? Just so I know it's working. Some funky music. Can you hear me? Yep, good. You were able to hear music? Cool. Yeah, I was trying a couple new things. Got a new stream starting soon. Little video sequence. There should have been music. Everyone should have been able to hear music, but I had desktop audio turned up. Did anybody hear music? Okay. Well, some didn't, some did, it seems. So I will just look back at the at the playback of the video. No one can get a straight answer. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? How are we doing? Good morning. Good morning. Thursday. Finally got some red folder news. Stoked on that. Super stoked on that. Let's dive into what we're seeing so far. So we're kind of working within, right? This is the previous daily range that has worked inside of the previous day's range. we have SMT at this previous daily low, and we also have some SMT with ES at this low here prior to the, well, upon the NVIDIA earnings. From there, we've kind of just seen a grind higher. 1800 open up here brought us down. And then we had overnight session kind of rip us up near the PDH. So my eye is drawn towards the previous daily high and maybe this previous daily high here. As it stands right now, we just had 8:30 news and it brought us down into discount, sweeping below this 415 low, engaging with this order block and forming SMT at the London low with ES and YM. YM and ES were allowed to dig, we're able to dig into this sequence of inefficiencies right here. From there, we've seen your swing point form. You got your breaker. And now price has been working off of that breaker. Work it properly. Working off of that breaker. And we have been moving higher. Standard deviations of said breaker take us to previous daily high with 2.5 resting just above this black line, which is the previous daily high. So I'm anticipating us to just continue higher here. From there, we can begin to look into things like, do we see some SMT at this previous daily high, right? Because like I mentioned, we're still working within this daily range. So we haven't had any significant pops of liquidity in quite some time. Tuesday created the range. Wednesday traded within it. There was opportunity. We had SMT at the previous daily high here. And we had SMT at the previous daily low here. There wasn't really much of an opportunity to long down here. Following that, now we are trending back higher after rejecting the range low, and we're nearing the range high. So let's just see what happens. We've got the open in 9 minutes. So I'm kind of looking to, shake off the cobwebs. Woke up this morning, getting ready for the charts. I am looking forward to it. Let me drag this up for just a moment so I can check something. Okay. Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Jess. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, I missed this. I was messing around with my YouTube, getting everything set up so that I could get the new stream starting soon sequence going, get all the OBS scenes set up. I had never really done an OBS scene before. So I'm not worried that I missed it. It was the model, but you can't catch every single setup you get. So all you have to do is just focus on the next one. Any thoughts on Nvidia? Price barely moved, so I'm bearish, but curious about what you think. I don't chart Nvidia. I don't look at Nvidia. Yeah, I don't know. Let's yeah, daily chart, weekly. Looks like it's weak. Looks like it's fairly bearish. I mean, this is Nvidia, right? Like this is just a ripper. We had a small stab above this previous weekly high, and this weekly high here, and the result has been trading lower. We're now filling in this gap here, and we've rejected off of it. So we're working inside of this daily civvy, so we can see lower prices from here. I don't think Nvidia is going to go up forever, but like I said, I don't trade Nvidia. I don't chart Nvidia that much. That's just a quick look at the high time frame. You took this setup at TBH. I was not really sure about it. What about it? Weren't you sure? Or what made you not so sure about it? If it's the model, you just got to take it, right? No hesitation. Let's mark out this short-term high here. We'll label this minor buy side. Okay, so 15-minute chart. This is the hourly open. Failed to sweep this low. But what it's looking like to me is this 4-hour candle is just open, low, high, close. So this could just continue up, and then maybe we get a 10 a.m. reversal. Could happen prior as well. All depends on what this 4-hour candle wants to do. The hourly candles. This one failed to close below that low there. Yeah. Tricky one. It's tough to look long when you see a candle open high, low, close like this, and you don't see a candle open low, sweep the previous low, and go higher. You take any trades today? Yeah. I took a long here, honestly, and it was a loss. So I'm just kind of sitting and waiting. Down 1 hour on the day. Uh, no, I don't look at RTH gaps. I honestly rarely ever do, if at all, look at RTH gaps. Yeah, I never really pop to them. Can see we are forming a fairly big one. If you put that RTH low, go back to ETH, you can see we're forming 100 some point gap. Now we will have under. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, it fits nicely. Yeah, PDH is nice. PDH is a good draw. Yeah, the RTH, yeah, it's under. It's down here. Yeah. I don't really use it. I don't have any sort of edge with it, to be honest. I know that gaps, they tend to like to get filled, but that's with any gap. So I don't exactly need to use it. But I know some people that do, and they work quite well. Oh, still waking up. Trying to stretch it out. ES is not taking that high either. Let me mark up the proper PDH. So 4 shorts to pan out. I wouldn't hate to see us take PDH to 2.5. ES failed to take previous daily high because it has already purged the Tuesday high. Do I look at NWOG and NDOG? Not really. Someone asks me this every day. I don't know, I don't know why. I never ever really use new day opening gap, new week opening gap. All that matters to me is the opening price of the new day or the new week. That's what's important to me. No, don't use them. I don't, guys. I don't add a lot of stuff to my trading arsenal. I don't need to. Ah, well, now you know. Now you don't have to ask again. I'm not a. I don't care if you guys ask. It's just a common question I get. Just a common question to get that I don't know why. I don't think they're that great. Open in just about a minute. What do we got? Yeah. This is kind of stalling out here. I don't really see much reason for it to not take that high. We had that SMT at the lows there. It's a nice reaction out of there. Bye. Have a good day. Yeah, I can see kind of an open that can drive us higher. You like how I keep my strategy simple? Yeah, well, it's simple's best. As little moving parts as possible, least amount of room for error. There's no discretion, no subjectivity. Let's see what this open does. Good luck, everyone. Good luck on anyone that's long. Let's mark that 9:30 open. Tagging this inefficiency. This guy. It's also a 5-minute Bissy. Can see that kind of acting as some support to drag price higher. Actually, gonna get rid of that breaker as well. Now closure above here suggests that we're likely going to continue. Yeah, just like that. IPG. This is like a fractal, well, an internal type breaker above this high. Right. No action from me. I'm not interested in taking a breaker in the middle of the range here like this. I just want to see us, if we're going to continue higher, I want to see us create the low of the 930 candle, utilize it to trade higher, right? I can't really get in because we're not creating any fresh SMT. We're not really tagging into any high time frame arrays. It's best to just wait. This looks good. This is just going to be one of those where it just goes. This will be your order block. Nested with your 930 opening price. That closes above. And it'll be kind of like that. Closures are important. Do you ever use CISD? In my own way, yeah. Trade breakers, so naturally I trade CISD. Okay, there's the closure. We're just tape reading this though. There's no entry here. I'm not about to enter in the middle of a range at 930 open when it could definitely go either way. For me, the invalidation is this low. I can't park a stop right here. That's a nice tap of that 930 open. Immediately rebalance this, close bullish. We should see some speed up into previous daily high and the minor buy side. Close bullish. That balances this price range on lower time frames, on like ultra low time frames. I want to see it continue from there. It is sort of stuck in this range here. Hence kind of why I'm waiting. YM is running to those highs. YM's also the weakest on high time frame. It's the furthest from its previous daily high. It's the one that took the previous daily low. NQ is probably the closest. All in all, a clear draw still. Tricky morning? Yeah, definitely. One to kind of stay flat on. That's what happens when you are stuck within 2 daily candles. It's best when you got that going on, right? And what I mean by that is look at the daily, okay? Wednesday's candle traded within Tuesdays. Now we have Thursdays trading within Wednesdays and Tuesdays. So we're just begging for liquidity. Your best moves are going to come from when we take liquidity and form SMT at them. Can you recommend any video on breakers? Yeah, core content. Core content month 4 on breaker blocks is a great start. You can learn a lot about breakers just from watching ICT stuff. I probably plan to make a breaker block YouTube video if that's something you guys think that you need. I think there's a lot of people in the ICT space that incorrectly mark breaker blocks, so I think a video is in order. I teach proper breakers. We teach proper breakers in the lab. It's a wonderful place to join. I've already kind of provided some sauce on breakers and whatnot. But yeah, it's shocking how many people don't understand breakers or don't plot them right. They understand them, they just don't plot them right. And it's oftentimes that they trade them with pattern, with like a pattern mindset, not really a logic mindset. As it stands, why I'm taking these pre-market highs. They usually mark breakers as mitigation blocks. I wouldn't say that. They just don't understand swing points. I mean, all breakers are mitigation blocks, but not all mitigation blocks are breakers. A video on your trading system would be nice. Yeah. That's something that I kind of reserve for the lab. I'm not going to do just a step-by-step tutorial on my model. But I do breakdowns. I've already done breakdowns on my model. I've done one of my YouTube videos has them. There's lots and lots of crumbs in my model on my socials, whether it's YouTube or Twitter. In here, all of these live streams, like you're gonna get everything that you need. It's just not organized. Video for daily bias. Yeah, I've got so many ideas for YouTube videos. One of the ones that I want to really do is how to properly backtest. Nobody talks about how to properly backtest. There's tons of videos on daily bias. Like T-Trades has a beautiful video on daily bias. That right there is like, that's all you need. If I were to do the same video, it would probably be very similar. It's just utilizing candle closures to anticipate draws. Crypto people destroyed Twitter. Yeah, every time there's a lot of crypto people that I honestly just like mute and block because they are fucking annoying. Excuse my French. There's a few crypto guys that I like. Miz, Lala, Adez, Deta, all the guys in the lab, they're amazing. They're really good guys. Good traders too. No, they're not in the lab with me. Okay. So, eyes peeled, okay? What do we have right now? SMT with YM at these minor buy side highs here. No previous daily high taken yet. We're about to form some SMT at, well, we're about to go for these lows. If we can form SMT at this low without taking London low, that would be something I could look for. But we need to form a breaker. As of right now, this doesn't really scream anything to me because it was more or less just kind of stuck in a range. I'm not about to force a short from that. This is looking quite heavy though, I will admit. So yeah, I don't see a single reason to long it yet. Sounds like they're just increasing the difficulty. So when that happens, it's best to kind of sit back, readjust, right? We didn't go for this high. We're now sweeping this low. Do we have any like sufficient SMT for me to want to get short on a high probability basis? Not really. I tend to kind of ignore YM for the first 30 minutes because if you look at this, what's NQ doing versus what's YM doing? Complete opposite. That's not really conducive to a correlated SMT that you can use. So we're stuck with yes. We have SMT on like the 830 data highs, but that was an old SMT that was already created that was used to drive price, you know? So like it's not exactly something that I'm interested in considering whatsoever. You also wouldn't have even gotten an entry opportunity. So let's just keep on watching. I'm totally cool with fading lower probability price action. In my opinion, if you were long from this breaker, you had signs to get out or take profit. I don't think you should have round tripped your entry here, to be honest. I know we didn't get to any sort of projections or liquidity, but like coming into 930 open, if you don't see it immediately ripping like this, it's a sign that you're probably going to run into some trouble. Another day, another shit opening. This market is, yeah, it's a heavy market. It's been staircase up, elevator down every single time with crappy SMTs. And if you do get a good SMT, like yesterday with previous daily high, it makes you wait like an hour before it delivers. So when I see no balancing price action like this, it tends to be manipulation. Yeah, when you just rip lower like this immediately without any single entry, yeah, I tend to lean towards that being manipulation as well. But we have to see if we can fit a narrative to it. Right, we're now mitigating, taking London low, getting towards midnight here. ES is also heavy. YM is just honestly stuck at the highs. So do you use candle body and SMT or wick? I just use the wick. I don't use the bodies. Always include the wick. I don't use like body SMT or anything. Uh okay. Where's that midnight open on ES? Not quite tagged yet. There's absolutely zero reason to long this, even though we're in discount, right? We need to wait for proper structure to form. This is just an expansion leg and it's retracing. Breaker on 15 seconds? Yeah, I don't trade breakers on 15 seconds. Wickless days since midnight usually means price going back to it later in the day. Yeah, devil's marks are definitely something to keep in mind always. I'd like to get us to like over 200 concurrent viewers. We've been kind of hovering around that like 120 to 100 to 130. Don't get me wrong, it's higher than I thought it would be after only doing like 5 or 6 streams. I want to start getting a bigger audience and seeing if I can help more and more people. I was feeling honestly like coming into the session, I was honestly like feeling pretty. I don't know if this was the coffee or what. I was feeling kind of like jittery. It was weird. I was feeling very jittery and like shaky. Could have very much been the coffee or whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm more mellowed out now, and I'm seeing things very clearly. But before it was like up in here, yeah, I was just super jittery. I don't know if you guys get like that too. Happens to me every now and again, and as soon as that's happening, like I am 100% like sitting back and waiting. The jitters aren't fun. What's up, Jay? All right. 9:45. Got a breaker here. This is the kind of structure you want to see form, right? You want to see a swing high form. You want to see a swing low. You need to get some SMT confirmation. All we have right now is really, I mean, with the 8:45 highs with YM, but that's kind of just completely off base. And then other than that, with ES, all we have is a consecutive candle, SMT. That's quite literally it. This 4-hour candle, closing bearish. The difference maker for me to like actually want to get involved with this, right? You see how we had this 8 a.m. high, right? NQ swept that high. Swept that high, ES failed too. You could consider that a form of SMT. What makes it lower probability for me and something that I will just automatically fade is where's the actual liquidity resting? And it's going to be up at this high here for me. So like I'm just going to fade these pretty much every time because I know as soon as I take a setup like that, it's going to go for that high. So, and I don't care if this, I don't care that this moved 180 points off of that SMT because think about it the other way. Just because it delivered lower, it doesn't make it any fucking cleaner, right? So you have to kind of demand cleanliness from your setups without knowing what they're going to do. It's easy to say, oh, this was super clean. Of course it's clean in hindsight, right? And that's just how I grade my SMTs. I like SMTs at actual external range liquidity, not, you know, some nested high that wasn't even really responsible for doing anything, you know? Yeah. It's just not a setup I'm confident in. Quite frankly, I don't even think you would have gotten an entry anyway. Like, if you think about it, we didn't have. It flipped this IFVG from 935, didn't even retrace to it. It didn't close, it closed below the 930 open, but it didn't even retrace to it. It formed this breaker, didn't retrace to it. So, like, you didn't even get an entry. Like, there's no entry here unless you're entering close proximity or you're chasing price. So, sometimes you just got to let them go. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have unless you chased. Well, close proximity is kind of like a personal preference of that person, right? They could have entered on this. They wanted to, or they could have entered in this candle, like near the close, right? Close proximity isn't something that's like it has to be this. It's a subjective thing. So, but I think if you're entering, close proximity and you're a decent amount of points away from the breaker, you're chasing. And like the markets, you're entering emotionally. 10-point rule. Yeah, see, some people have a 5-point rule, some people have a 10-point rule, some people don't have a rule. So yeah, just reaffirms what I said earlier about it being a subjective thing. Let's watch this PDL here. This is also Asia low. What indicator do you use for the daily separator? It is New Day Divider. New Day Divider by Hughes KM. A friend of mine built it. It's a free indicator. You just type that in, you'll get it. Another day, another shitty little sell-off. Hey, what a market. What a market. And Q belongs on Dex Screener. Take it off the CME. Put it on Dex Screener. Oh, boys and girls. I'm tired of this. Tired of this stuff. Tired of these big moves moving off of nothing. Like, and I'm not one to blame the market, but like over time, you kind of it starts to eat away at you a little bit. There's that PDL. That is massive. Like, look at all this. This happened. Look at how much this has happened. Happened here, happened here, happened here, happened here. Just engineering highs. And we're just forming SMT with like less than probable liquidity. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. You just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh at how hard they make it. They make it so hard. We're seeing SMT at previous daily low now. I think it's best to trade London. Yeah, London's been clean. Algo turned off. Yeah, that's what some people say is an excuse. They think they lost because the algo wasn't in sync. Get the fuck out of here with that. Not you, 20, just people. Certain people will take a loss and their justification for said loss is the algo wasn't ready. Like, okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. Okay, good. Previous daily low taken. We are heavier than ever. I want this other PDL too. I don't understand why you don't just short 375. Are you being serious? Are you being serious? Don't get quiet on me, Luke. Tell me if you're being serious or not. Crickets. Anyway, running Tuesday's low now. Now we're kind of getting outside of this inside range. What is 375 anyway? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to go there. I could say the same for I don't understand why you didn't just short 22 448. Some people just don't understand due process and the job of a trader. Have you ever used Bookmap? No. No, I don't trade the lab model. It's like there's a lot of setups that I take that are the same, that basically are the same trade, just different logic applied. That's the thing. Pretty much every ICT traders like all get in the same moves. but they just have different ways of getting there. Do I think Kane is short? I don't know if he could have gotten in. I don't know. Somebody's probably watching his stream that's in here also. Probably Lee bouncing back and forth. I can't imagine he's in. He was probably waiting for a PDH SMT. Kinda 1 minute TLM. He wouldn't have had an entry. Yeah, why don't you just short, bro? Yeah. He wasn't when he was there, yeah. What type of traders do you recommend the lab to? Any trader that's looking for an uplifting community with like-minded individuals that like have a serious obsession with personal growth. This is just so dumb. This might be a short stream today, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I hop on here, we get stuff like this. What should we do at this point? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Can you short it? No. Can you long it? This is no. There's nothing you can do. Yeah. 420 points off of the 930 open and you don't even get an entry. This market's twisted. Yeah. There's nothing you can do here. Literally nothing. We're like 10 points, 10 handles off of previous daily low with the S. 10 a.m. open. If 940 candle came back to the breaker. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have taken this short. This could have delivered perfectly to this breaker. I would not have taken this short. And you guys are probably looking at me like I'm stupid. But the truth is, I don't care. It doesn't matter what this did. I'm not taking this. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, stranger. How does the market just move like that without sweeping any significant liquidity? It's been doing this for months. Well, you have a lot of injected volatility with just Trump, right? You have so many volatility drivers. And yeah, this shit, yeah, it's annoying. I mean, you don't know exactly where all the orders are resting. Like for example, here. Like you don't really have any idea if the orders are resting here or if they're resting here, right? It could be very similar, right? Same with this. Like I don't have a book of or a way of seeing exactly where the orders are. If I did, that'd make my job a lot easier, I think. Um, but yeah, I don't really have anything reliable. Yeah, we took a form of liquidity, but it wasn't at all high time frame liquidity. A previous hourly high, like it was a data high, I get it. But this buy side here. That's just been what's been going on this week. That's almost like the weekly characteristic. It just takes short-term liquidity and dumps. Like, and I'm just going to miss those. I just am. Today's a day that you might just want to like get off the chart, get a hold of a friend, and just like go for a coffee or like just hang out and get off the charts. Like this is there's nothing one can really do here. Because like framing longs, sure. You have SMT at previous daily low. You have a 4-hour sweep. That gonna show me? No, of course not. We took that Feb low. We saw this SMT intact with ES. Now, how big is this? Yeah, like 145 point breaker. I'm missing that. Even that, like 100 points, I'm missing that. Kane took that short 160k trade. Someone just said he didn't. He's also trading a 25k account, so he's not making 160k off a 25k account. Nice try though. I know you're kidding. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing, right? Can this 1 minute inversion provide us a move higher? Yeah, it can. But here's the thing. This is a high time frame level. We just took a previous daily low. Do we have any sort of high time frame swing point to suggest that this is going to be a higher time frame reversal? No. So I'm already thinking that this 1 minute inversion, if it prints in this 1 minute breaker up here, if that prints, it's going to be responsible for a retracement to then go and form a high time frame swing point later. So like I'm anticipating this low to be taken. Like full stop, not even joking. Because there's no high time frame swing point to even reverse from. Like I'm not about to take a 1 minute swing point to target these highs. We need a high time frame one. I know it's frustrating, but it shows discipline that you're able to wait for your model. Yep. Yeah. Doesn't matter what I think, right? All that matters is that I just wait for my model. Simple. What do I mean by higher time frame swing point? Higher time frame breaker. So like markets don't reverse without this. They don't reverse without a swing low, swing high, lower swing low. Obviously, flip it for bearish. Like markets don't reverse without this. So if we look at this and we anticipate that this is a high time frame area where we can likely see reversal, do we see any sort of do we see that signature anywhere on the 15 minute, the 5 minute, the 30 minute? No. Yeah, so like the M15 or the M5. Preferably the 15 or higher for a level like this. This is a previous daily low. Yeah. You can just like just based off of the swing points that you have, you can already determine what kind of move you're going to get. We have 4 hour, well, no, we have previous daily low SMT with ES. It's not just 4 hour. That's a daily SMT. Yeah, when you're looking for SMTs, you always label it as what's the highest possible time frame that this SMT is occurring on. So like you said 4 hour. For it to be 4 hour, it would have to be like a 4 hour consecutive candle. Because you could say the same for an hourly, you could say the same for a 6 hour, you could say the same for a 12 hour, but really it's a daily. Because then if you go to like a weekly, it's not there. Well, you could say 2 day. I'm just gonna say daily because it's easier. Oh, what the heck? It actually gave me a ticker one day. What the fuck? Change interval one day. That's weird. I was bugging out for a second. Yo, Sal. All right, so keep your eye on this. Personally, am I taking this? No. Because that would actually be mental if it only formed a 1 minute breaker and it reversed this entire move. And I'm not really about to put a 111 point stop to get like, yeah, just the RR ain't there. You know, it took a long at 933 off of low time frame liquidity. We had inverse CISD and S&T going into equal low. Go to equal low. Stop break even. Was that dumb? Was it your model? Because depending on where your stop was, this wasn't an invalidation point. Yeah, I see your logic. We talked about this throughout the stream, but there's no high probability setup here. You don't have any high time frame SMT to work off of that's fresh to suggest that this is going to be a protected low. The protected low is here. That failed. We dumped. So I'm not going to sit here and say it was dumb because I don't know what your model is, right? I don't know what your edge is. For me personally, I see this as this isn't a protected low. The invalidation is still here. And I'm not going to take a fractal entry within this 930 candle. That's a lower probability setup. Running us higher here off that IFVG. Am I trading in the lab tomorrow? No. No. I'm not trading tomorrow. That low hit right on EQ, so I got a bit overconfident with it. Yeah. You should always frame high time from SMT with your setups. I know that this looks like it's a 1 minute market maker buy model, and you could enter here on an accumulation, but truth be told, like it's just not as probable. Do I trade PM session? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay, so now what are we seeing? We're seeing a potential swing forming. I don't have a long here. Is this something that I would long in the past? Probably. But I can't take this with confidence. Just based on the fact that it's not really a high time frame swing point. If I'm looking for a high time frame move, I need a high time frame swing point. Daily swing isn't high time frame? What do you mean? What daily swing? You want to fractalize it though. So this is a daily level. Yeah, I agree. This could be an hourly swing for later. I agree. We need some sort of high time. We need some sort of fractalized breaker swing, in my opinion. Because like just looking at this off of the 5 minute, this is an expansion leg. You want to see that form. You want to see an actual swing point form. All this is telling me that this is an expansion and this is a retracement. If it wants to go and run this high from here, that's something that I'm totally okay missing. I don't care to push my luck with that. We're trading into some high time frame inefficiencies here. Best case would be we mitigate these, run the low, and then actually get a breaker to trade from on high time frame for longer term, so we can actually trust a longer term, buy. Yeah, exactly, Justin. You're getting it. Is it just me, or lately the markets have been extremely difficult? Yeah, they have been. I don't know if I answered that already. They have been difficult. Indeed, indeed. And the two up close candles right now could be forming the breaker. Yeah, could definitely be. Combined with S&T with the S, that would be a valid trade. So yeah, so if we form this swing point here, we take this low, or form SMT at it, and then if we get like a fractal breaker from here, we can then trade this 1 minute breaker, anticipating that the high time frame breaker is going to be formed, and then you can catch a high time frame move off of that. Or the market says, kindly Brady, go fuck yourself, and it's going to run this whole leg up, which in that case, I will be standing here with no positions on. Learning a lot. Happy to hear it. Asia low. I'm just gonna get rid of that because it's too many orange lines. Oh, what a day. That high time frame breaker forming often caught me while I was chasing price, not understanding why it did not move directly. Yep. That's what's called a fake market structure shift. It's just fractalizing, right? Like this is a 1 minute setup. This is a 1 minute breaker. Absolutely, it's a 1 minute breaker. We don't have a high time frame breaker to give us any confidence that it's going to do anything more than a retracement. So that right there, right? That's why people overstay their welcome on these trades. It's usually the case. They try to use a 1 minute breaker for a higher time frame expansion, which unless you have, so this could be your 1 minute breaker, right? This could be your 1 minute breaker. But if you don't have, you know, a parent breaker that takes liquidity above it, you can't really say that this is anything more than a retracement. But if you have this here, you then have, let's say this is a 15 minute or a 5 minute, you then have a lower time frame breaker forming a high time frame breaker, fractalizing a setup to go long. Perfect example of that. Longs from, what day was it? Tuesday? Tuesday. Let's just go back for a moment. What do we have here? What do we have here? We actually took this trade. And I overstayed my welcome. Here's your breaker. Swing low, swing high, lower, swing low. We formed SMT at this low. We also had SMT at the February low. So we have two forms of SMT here. This is only a 1 minute breaker though. What do we see here on the 5 minute? Do we see any significant swing points? Do we see this above? No, there's nothing here. There's these up close candles, but they're not breakers. So what are we doing with this? We could take this as a retracement for sure, which is what you get. But what's it going to do? What is it going to form? It's going to form a high time frame breaker. Now do we have a swing low, swing high, lower swing low? Yeah. Now you have your high time frame swing point on the 5 and the 15. Now, do we have a low time frame breaker within that? So this is your high time frame breaker. That's your 15 minute. This is a 5 minute breaker. Now, what do we have here? We have a fractal breaker right here. So that's your entry. Now you have standard deviations for this. You have standard deviations for this. And now you have yourself a high time frame possibility for a setup, right? 2.5 takes you here. Well, 2.5 takes you up here, and then you have -4 at previous daily high. right? That's how you get high time frame moves. That's how you anticipate larger scale setups. Yeah. Doesn't matter what this is all doing, right? This is how you hold your setups. This is how you stay in there, right? You could have partialed off up here for sure. But like, yeah, you get a meaty move off of it, right? You meet projections on your 1 minute breaker. Anyway, that's what I mean when I say high time frame breakers. Now what do we got? ES taking this 945 high. Thanks, Hatham. Hello, Mahi. That's like a little lesson on you know, actually taking high time frame setups. Does taking a sell here make sense for continuation? Let me see. We have S&T at this here with ES. This could be suggesting that it's a 10 a.m. open high. We're inside of an inefficiency tagging into this breaker. This can be your breaker here. I would prefer to see it take one more dig, just to give us something cleaner. But that is technically a valid breaker. And it's going to be, again, a 100-point breaker. It's just not great. I'd prefer to see a cleaner breaker form from this. I don't like this. This is ugly. It's internal. Not my cup of tea. What would be swell is 10:30 opens. NQ takes this high. ES fails to, creating consecutive candle SMT on the 30-minute and the 15-minute, which would be an NQ tagging into the SIBI. ES doesn't need to because it doesn't even have one. And we've got 15-minute SMT. And that would look something like this. 10:30 opens. We have this breaker nesting inside of this for value gap. Flip that. Take it to the lows and projections. Previous monthly low is the draw. So like, you can already kind of see if this is kind of the breaker that forms, 2.5 lines up with that. If we just get like a shallow pop above, that would be something that I'd be interested in taking. That's something super clean. I just built myself like if then statements. If we see this, then I can anticipate this, right? The logic makes sense. So that's something that I'd be willing to risk capital on. Yep. Yeah, I use dealing ranges. Premium and discount is still important for sure. So if you take this range, right, how I would do it is that we are anticipating this to be an expansion and then a retracement. Now we're inside a premium. Smart money likes to sell in premium. Things looking all right. Would be sick if we got something. Yeah, exactly, Justin. We have this SMT here already. We have ES taking that high. This is the 930 Sibi. So I'd want to see us get above this high and frame a cleaner breaker. If it forms this breaker, like, let's see. It's just gross. That's the January low. This guy. Yeah. No trades on stream, Milan. Like a fucking 100-point breaker just isn't it for me. These line up with the previous monthly low though, which I mean, is a confluence. Like it's gonna allow me two micros. I'm not risking $5 grand. I was just doing this for easy management. Like 2 micros. Like, I mean, I guess so. It makes sense. We're volatile right now, but I want to see my idea come to fruition, personally. If this goes though, I'll probably let it go. Truth be told, it's smacking into a 5-minute BISI. Let's get rid of that guy. See that? That's the low of the breaker. Smacking right into a 5-minute BISI. I'm okay missing that. But the idea is if this breaker forms, you'd want to see that take that low. I preferably want to see us take the high from the breaker, but at this point, it's already forming a high time frame. It's already forming, the breaker. If we do form it here, it's already going to be a 100-point breaker anyway. So no closure below that breaker. One more pullback before reversing up. I want to see these lows go. Truthfully. Just shorted that. Nice. Good luck. Don't have the breaker confirmation yet, but we shall see. UCSD. Okay. If this closes below, I think I'd dabble. I'm gonna demand and see that maybe see if I can get a better fill, but still not forming that breaker. Curious if it's just gonna do something cheeky and just like bump itself up against the breaker like so, not close below it and retrace. It's just gonna bump itself up and then dump. See that? Seeing if I can get more out of it. We technically already kind of confirmed the breaker, but we're tagging into that 5-minute BISI. Let's give it a go. Off of that, now watch me be wrong right away and get my original idea. Let's see. I missed this initial 1020 candle. And then yeah, go figure. You change your mind, you decide to get in off of that breaker, not wait for this one, and then you get ran up against. If it goes and forms my original idea, then I will gladly take this loss and get in again. I want to see this inefficiency act as resistance. Yeah, I take that BISI real nice. That's the only troublesome thing. Well, we're in it anyway. We got to sit with it. If it serves me up a nice L, then I got to wait for more information and just kind of reset. Short. If this inverts, we're likely wrong, by the way. Guys, I'm not going to answer questions about am I long, am I short. Pay attention. This isn't a signal service. I'm not going to sit here and answer questions the whole time about am I long, am I short, whatever. I'm talking through price as we go here. That should be indicative. That should tell you exactly where I'm looking or what I'm doing. It's also a reason why I'm not even showing my execution. You guys see me execute, but I'm not showing my trade. One, because I don't care to see what my trade is doing. I know what it's doing. Trading the chart, not the P&L. I like that we used this and we're respecting it so far. I want to see us keep going that way. It's being troublesome. Maybe if you let some room for stop loss in case it wants to take out 10-15 high. No, that's not how that's not how one should operate. If it goes above here, nothing's stopping it from going much higher. This is the invalidation level for this short. Stop loss isn't something that you just like move around to make yourself feel more confident in your setup. You take your stop and you leave it where it should be and you don't move it. If you move your stop, you're lowering the probabilities of your trade working out. Or if you move it away, you move it further away, you are gambling. You are not then trading based on any sort of data-driven numbers. If you're moving your stop, and if you're moving it up here, then you're already insinuating that you think that high is going to be taken. So why don't you just wait for it to go there and then get a short off of that, I'm fully accepting the fact that this may stop me out and then print another entry, or it may stop me out and just go the other way. It's not my job to enter based off of a feeling. It's my job to enter and execute according to my model that I've backtested and found to have edge. That's my only job. I'm not responsible for anything else. Like, our egos are terrible traders. So you cannot let them, dictate any sort of actions, any sort of processes, or interrupt any part of your model. You have to strictly execute based on process. That's it. Pretty much everything I do is based on process. At the moment that you let your guard down and let the ego start making decisions for you, that's when you have your blow up days. And then you sit back and you're like, oh, what the heck just happened? Like, what did I just do? You know? And a lot of people think like, oh, I don't have an ego. Start trading. You'll find out pretty quick that you have one. uh, did I catch the big short from 940? No, I didn't. There was no entry. And I'm not harping on you, Justin. I'm really just it's something that I um have a large amount of experience with. So I really want to make sure that I hammer that subject home and not just, tread lightly over it because it is important. Do you backtest on TradeZella? Yeah, I do. I backtest on TradeZella. If you guys don't have it, I can recommend it. It's great. It's a good platform. It's like the best. You get a sick journal, like a super robust journaling software, and a good backtesting software for like cheaper than you would get FX Replay for. And FX Replay, you only get backtesting software. Really thankful for my advice. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I come off as harsh sometimes, but I just know that my heart's in the right place. And I do it because I'm passionate about helping. Dude, you are a very smart trader. Thank you, Eddie. This is kind of that line in the sand. Like I said, if we close above this, we're likely wrong. If we continue to use it as resistance, we're okay. Yeah, you can backtest on TradeZella. Yep. They have a new backtesting software. You can use their basic plan and you can backtest. Do more of these streams. I try to. I've been doing 2 a week. Okay, now we're seeing this. This might be a stop up if this closes above. And if it does so, right? We're already, that money's gone. The money we're risking on this trade, it's already gone. Whatever happens to it, it just goes into the edge. That's it. It goes into the edge and we just keep executing normally. The rules are what will save you. So if this is a loss, right, then we already have a plan. We see if we sweep this high, get SMT again, and then it just shows it's time to go. And then we get another opportunity. How do you feel about having daily goals and points? For example, if after 50 points be done for the day. I think it's good if you're building buffer for like an Apex account. I don't think you should do it based on points though. I think you should do it based on monetary value because a 50-point day today is a lot different than a 50-point day on a Monday with no news. So volatility is what will change, the amount of points. But the amount of dollars you can make is something that you can adjust because you can adjust your contract size to suit your risk. I also don't think having a daily limit is necessary for like most situations. I think it's good for people who like have a problem with over trading. Or if you're like trying to build an apex buffer, like something that has that intraday trailing drawdown, I think it's good to have that. But the goal should be just follow your plan. And some days are great, some days, are not so great. If the edge is present, you should push it. Yeah, I mean, if you have, you should have also a max loss limit too. If you have, if you have like a 50-point marker for like a high watermark that you can, that you need to stop for the day, that's great. But what happens if you take a loss, right? You need to have rules in place for both ends of the spectrum. So like 2 losses per day is a good place to go if you're an overtrader or a revenge trader until you can begin to trust yourself. Always liked how you explain price, your process, and TOTK streams. Sad what happened. Yeah, it is sad what happened. It is. It was a good place, but it kind of turned for the worst. I'm glad that I'm in a better community. Um, Again, Viper, you shouldn't have your limits set on points. Have it on losses. Because like on a lower volatile day, that could be like 5 losses. Which by the third loss, you might already be on tilt. So have it on a set amount of losses. How many losses does it take for you to get pissed off? Whatever that number is, you stop trading after that. If you take 2 losses and it starts to piss you off, that's when you stop. That's a great that's that's a great barrier right there. This is a yeah, super slow. Never thought of that. Yeah, it's goaded advice. Yeah, I heard that too. Like you have to like there's a tilt. Like you genuinely like just perform worse. Cuz then you like for example if you're like playing I don't know Overwatch or something like that and then you are playing ranked and you take a couple L's or like 3 losses in a row. Like that right there. Like you're immediately going to start like saying, "Oh, I'm going to play this I'm going to play this hero instead and I'm going to start flanking or I'm going to start, being more aggressive because I want to win." Like that's not how you do it, right? There's a plan and process that you have to follow even with gamers. So, it's the same across the board for any sort of, performance based endeavor, whether it's trading, gaming, sports, whatever, right? Yeah, tilt is 100% real. It's like it's an actual physiological process that occurs within your head, within your brain. Pretty big projections. Yeah, they have us going to the monthly low, or the not the monthly low. Sorry. This is the previous monthly low. Here, this is the low that we formed SMT at. This is the January 27th low. So what I want to see is I want to see us fall through this low. I've got time to take a little bathroom break. Uno momento. All right. I'm back. What are we seeing? SMT at this low here. We close nicely there. Don't see a breaker. This could fall. I want to see these inefficiencies. This inefficiency on the left. This was kind of where we saw some speed. I want to see that occur on this right side of the phase as well, or the right side of the curve. We're rocking. I meant to actually change this into ticks. Cool. What do you guys think of the streams? We've done a few of them already. We've done, how many streams have I done? Let me look. I have done, including today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my 6th stream. Good time to ask for feedback. Streams are good, market been shit. Amen, brother. I want to see that SMT kind of get deleted between NQ and ES. I want to see this 5-minute low get taken. Did it already? I don't think it did. That's a negative. Your first stream and it's very informative. How did you find me? Curious to know how you found out about this stream. How did you guys all find out about it? Was it mainly through my Twitter? Kane from the lab? Yeah. Cool. It's always nice to know where you guys are seeing me. Found me on Twitter, 2 Degrees Discord. YouTube recommendation. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Follow the mustache. It will lead you to treasure. Randomly popped up on YouTube. That's cool, man. YouTube algo is doing good. We've got the YouTube algo by the balls, folks. I'm just kidding. They probably heard me say that. You enjoyed the 2 Degrees stream? Thanks, man. That was a fun stream. Okay, there's that 5-minute BISI. Again, dipping through there. I want to see, like I said, continuation through here. Well, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the streams. Because if I'm honest, I'm having a good time doing them too. Once we get like down here, I'll probably go break even. How often do I stream? On YouTube, it's between 1 and 2 times a week. I'm just starting though, so like it's still fairly new. Do I have any SMT tagging into this 5-minute SIBI? I don't love that. I think this just continues. $11 o'clock. How'd that hourly candle close? Indecisive. That's a tough one because tagging, you have some SMT inside of this BISI here with YM. I'm going to see what this 5 minute speed is. I'm going to get rid of that line. Is that the high of the breaker? Tough one. I want to see us continue to reject. That's kind of just what I'm looking for. I want to see us dump through this. Like I'm really not into the, you know, the whole fuckery type of scene. I want to see us just start to deliver. Trading in a 5 minute SIBI. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? This is that 5 minute SIBI up here. Rejecting that quite nicely. I want to just see it continue though. Never fails, hey. Whenever I'm in a trade on stream here, they're always a little slower. We're gonna catch a low resistance liquidity run one of these days. One of these days. Right, so what I said earlier, once we get down into here, I'm probably safe to go to break even. Yo, sniper. Why am I safe to go break even here? Because this is kind of a area where this is 2.5 of this little breaker sequence in here that was confirmed during the 1050 macro. It's either kind of going to fall through there or it's going to retrace, right? 2.5 standard deviations of a manipulation leg or a breaker leg is often an area where you can see retracements, reversals. So by that definition, when we get down in there, if we get down in there, I would like to go break even up here. This is, I'd like to see act as a swing high anyway, because it's already swept some liquidity, and then that would probably already confirm this low. So that would be a valid shift, making this high valid for the short term to stay. We shall see though. All of that could be completely unimportant if it doesn't get there, right? It doesn't mean anything until it gets there. I'm anticipating it to get there. But I'm not going to force my will on anything. That's just an if-then statement that I've created for myself. The real draw is this low. and then lower. It's just a matter of if it wants to giddy up or if it wants to consolidate after this, which a lot of the time it does that. Why do I anchor my standard deviation there? It's, well, it actually should be here, but it's the breaker leg, so the manipulation leg. This is the manipulation leg that formed the SMT. Same with this. This is the manipulation leg of the breaker here. So I always, right, simple answer is markets don't reverse without a swing point. That swing point can be seen as manipulation. That manipulation can be measured to project distribution. Typically, you're going to see distribution be between 2 and 2.5 times the size of the manipulation before you can see retracements or reversals. Retracements back to premium and discount to then target -4. -4 is typically max expansion, where you can see full-on reversals form from, or again, retracements, depending on what the high time frame is doing. Do I use time SMT? No, I don't even know what that is. Some signs of trouble here. If we close above this high, that's kind of not what I want to see. I don't really have any information going against my idea. I need to see this 11 o'clock open flip. When ES trades above opening time, but NQ not. No. No, I don't use that. Validation, for me, it's as high, still. I might get out here though, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. This just does not seem conducive to a high probability environment for me right now. This is like, this high here is an hourly Sibi. Like by now, I would have liked to see us deliver. Yeah. I'm not getting stuck. I'm not getting stuck in a consolidation like this. Because what's been the flavor of the week? We Wednesday. Tuesday was a good example. Kind of get stuck in this consolidation here, right? After the big trend, I just don't want to. I don't like sitting through consolidations. That's just me. I want to see my trades show me that they're right away. This to me, 11 o'clock. There's nothing saying 11 o'clock can't go to this high. Trade into the SIBI and then go lower. And I'm just not sitting through that. I'm just not. So we are out on that guy. 84. Yeah, basically break even. Just bigger fish to fry, you know? Bigger fish to fry. I'm not going to sit here and put myself through a trade that I otherwise just don't really have much faith in. We're also forming breakers here, like, yeah. This high should have honestly acted as resistance, and we should have ran lower. But now we're forming like fractal breakers on this downside here. Is it something I can long off of? No, but it's just my logic behind it. Just doesn't look ready. And I rarely ever exit like that, but this is a specific case where like I'm anticipating chop. Like we're forming bearish arrays, barely respecting them, forming bullish arrays, disrespecting them. Now we're forming bearish arrays again. Now we're disrespecting them. That's just an environment for me that's indicative of chop and consolidation. So I'm just going to wait. What happened to following your model? Who says I didn't? I just read price and absolutely explained why I got out. I said if we close above this high, I'm out. And then gave a very good explanation as to such. And how could you say that I'm not following my model if you don't know what my model is? Would you close early like that while back testing though? Or just skim through and see if it wins or loses? It's a good question. Is a backtesting environment the same as a trading environment though? And am I not allowed to utilize a skill of technical analysis to prevent losses? I see what you're saying, but also there's no such thing as a fully mechanical model. I do have some discretion in my model, and that's obvious. I'm not going to hide the fact that I utilize discretion. I have every reason to see if this is an intermediate term high that I want to see hold. We then fail to close below. We're inside of an inefficiency. Lots of signs point to why it didn't work out, you know? This isn't something that I'm going to absolutely hate getting out of. Like, it showed me a lot of reasons to get out. And we also had SMT and a breaker. So technically, models forming against you. What kind of delivery would you say this week is done? Let's look at it. Overnight consolidation, 9 a.m. dump, retracement, expansion. Overnight consolidation, 9 a.m. dump, retracement, overnight consolidation, expansion higher, reversal. Yeah. Trending week for the most part. The SMTs it gave, not the greatest. But that's kind of what we're dealing with. We trade the same model. My breakers are different from yours. How are they different? And how do you know we trade the same model? An entry model isn't a model. It's just an entry function. The entry is like the least important part about a model. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I missed what Tom said. Yeah, that's all I was doing. Preserving capital in an otherwise lower probability environment. And what do you see here? Utilizing that, but also NQ, or sorry, YM SMT. From that YM SMT, it wasn't my favorite SMT. It's not an SMT that I'm going to long off of, but paired with the analysis that I did, and the fact that this hourly candle closed fairly indecisive and we left an inefficiency here, and we formed a breaker inside discount of this range, bouncing off of this breaker, like every reason to get out. Yeah, the entry model doesn't matter. You can enter off an order block, you can enter off a breaker, you can enter off a fair value gap, an IFEG, or whatever. And all people can probably take the exact same trade with a different entry function. That's how you know that an entry function has nothing to do with a model. A model is much more than that. It's risk management, primarily. Reading high time frame order flow, having a way to decipher what the actual price action is telling you. What phase of delivery are we in? And that's speaking to like determining, are we consolidating or are we trending? That's what the market does. The market moves in trends and ranges. Your job is to figure out, are we doing this or are we doing this? And that will answer the question, okay, what are my likely draws? If you are trending, then your draws go from external to internal, to external to internal, to external until your high time frame draw is met. Your opportunities lie here, 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 here. And if you want to catch continuations during these legs, if they present, you can do that on a fractal basis. If you're consolidating, which is basically just failing to trade within a range, failing to close above a range high or a range low, whether that's a previous daily level, previous daily high or low, previous session high or low, previous weekly high or low, you can range on any sort of time frame. Your entries are going to come at the range high and at the range low and the range high. You're going to short the range highs with SMT and a breaker. You're going to long the range lows with SMT and a breaker. You need reasons to get into a trade. You need reasons to get out of a trade. You need ways to manage your trade by way of when to go break even, when to get out. Utilize your ability to read price action to actually preserve and know when to risk capital. Lots of things. Journaling, reflection. Believe it or not, that's part of a model. Trader Dante has said that the trading day isn't done until you've journaled all your trades. Do you put an emphasis on watching for potential manipulation or just wait for CIST that aligns with your draw? Manipulation, because part of my criteria is going to be liquidity pools being swept, right? And seeing SMT format them, right? Whether it's external range liquidity or internal range liquidity, whether it's a session high, previous hourly high, daily high, whatever. So yeah, manipulation most definitely is something that I wait for. That's what got me, that's what, what's a good option here? Tuesdays. That's what led me, right, to this, right? Because what is this? This is your accumulation. This is your manipulation. This is your distribution, right? So yeah, in a way, absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome. What's the best way to find bias in your opinion when the time is 8 o'clock, let's say? That is a loaded question. The way to find bias is to first look at what previous PA has done. So let's take this morning, for example. 8 a.m. Let's just go to it. Here's 8 a.m. What have we done? Here's the 1800 open. Asia formed its low here. Midnight open, immediately higher. What do we have resting above us for liquidity pools? And where's our SMTs? What has our previous sessions done, right? This is the Asia session. Right here. That's the Asia low. Asia high. Well, Asia range goes till midnight. That's already been taken. Because as soon as midnight open, we continue to run higher. London session opens. We form the London low and we continue to trade higher. So we're just meandering towards the previous daily high here. So what can I think of? What did I think of when I came to the chart this morning? I was like, okay, we have SMT at these lows here. We have SMT at previous daily low with YM. We had NVIDIA earnings yesterday, and we're seeing a strong run up into the previous daily high from there. At the moment, I'm looking for previous daily high. Looking for previous daily high. And if we can see SMT form at the previous daily high, I will look to short. Inversely, if we don't see previous daily high get taken, I can't get short or SMT form at the previous daily high, even at this minor buy side. From there, I'd anticipate London low to get taken. London low to get taken, and then see if we can run up higher. Or if it does neither, then quite literally, I won't really have much of a bias or much of a way to get in. Those are the things that I could see, right? What we get is neither. We don't get the minor buy side ran. We don't get SMT where I wanted to see SMT for an area that's logical for me. We don't get a reversal from the London low. We take this low here, and now we are here. So that's kind of how you do it. You really just, it's about what's the price delivery looking like? What have the previous sessions done? Where are we in relation to the daily opens? being 1800 and midnight opening price. Where's our premium and discount arrays by way of like our highs and lows? Using all that logic is imperative in determining daily narrative. I don't like the word bias. I like narrative. So what has occurred here? Nothing. What time is it? 11:30. I'm tapped. This is a good time to cut it. All we've gotten is the one short that I cut. It wouldn't be stopped yet, but quite frankly, I don't really have much faith in it anyway. There's nothing here to really go short off of anyway. We don't have any SMTs, these highs. This is really just a generation of a range. So I'm going to sit back and just not really get involved with this price action until I see a higher time frame swing point form at, oh geez, keep doing that. At this low. SMT at this low would be great for buys, or if we can get some sort of SMT inside of the hourly inefficiency to then go lower from there. I hope you guys found it insightful. Hope you enjoyed this stream. Thank you guys for tuning in again so much. I'll be streaming again next week, I assume. I'll let you guys know well in advance of what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go enjoy my day. I'll see if I can catch anything else, but that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. These are kind of my lines in the sand, this high and this low. I want to see that get taken. Yeah, you guys are welcome. I hope you guys learned something. And thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Yeah. We'll speak to you guys later. Peace out.